Good morning.
Hello, everyone.
We are happy to be talking about the new season today. We decided to do springtime from the traditional Chinese medicine point of view. And one of the beautiful parts of our medicine is that it's very based on nature and the seasons. So the different seasons represent different healing aspects as well as different challenges that can come up. And spring is so lovely, especially when you live in upstate New York after the long
It's the
winter.
best. Absolute best.
Yeah, it's that beautiful season of rebirth. So let's talk a little bit about that.
And as Laura referenced a moment ago, each one of those groupings, seasons, have a different taste to them, a different flavor to them, a different tissue to it, a different sensory orifice associated with it. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today, too.
Yeah, so that's called the 5 elements. I think Rick briefly mentioned it in one of our mornings.
Yeah.
And there's different elements that represent every season. And with those elements, there are organs that are associated with it. There's senses, like our sight has to do with the spring.
Yeah.
Colors, flavors.
Her favorite.
Yeah, because I like to talk about the food. So we're going to just go through that. We can tell you about it.
Yeah.
And explain what that means for your health right now.
And it's weird, too, because I remember several years ago we were going on spring break, and there was not a leaf on the tree here. And as we went south, you just saw, so depending on what part of your country, some people are different parts of the country that watch this. So you may be already experiencing the blossoming of trees, the good little green buds that come out. We have seen none yet, but that's why we're doing this. It's kind of prepping us to experience that wonder that's on our way.
That's right. It's starting.
Yes.
So we talked a little bit, I think, about this too. So the organ that's associated with the spring is the liver. Mm-hmm. And that means that we're looking at things like detoxification during this season, because the liver is our ultimate detoxifier in our body, as well as the organ that's kind of responsible for the overall smooth flow of qi or energy. So the liver is a very important organ.
Oh, one of the most important.
Yeah, Western medicine as well as Eastern medicine.
Yep.
The season is spring, we were talking about. So, and we're talking about this wood element. So we're going by that 5-element theory.
Which goes wood, fire, earth, metal, water, different season, different organs.
And you'll notice there's 5 elements, but really traditionally we look at 4 seasons, but they sneak one little element in there between summer and fall that's called earth. And it's actually one of my favorite elements because it's during harvest time, and it's a really important time of the year for the earth as well as for our health.
Right.
So back to spring and wood. The color for spring is green, which makes a lot of sense because this is the season when a lot of green starts to come out, and please, I'm sorry. I love that aspect of spring. And the wood element and our liver, all the things associated with the wood element, can actually they can benefit from just looking at things green when we see things that are green. And that leads us to the sense of spring, which is actually vision and sight.
Those little green buds that start coming out on the tree, they look at it as a young sapling, not just old hardwood oak trees, but the color of the young sapling, bamboo, the young fresh bamboo. That's where traditionally it started in China, so they would look at and because we're going to talk about that in a moment, the flexibility. The reason I say young trees, because it also represents the connective tissue in the body, your tendons, ligaments, cartilage,
and muscle.
And so if your liver is qi is smoothly flowing, then your limbs they will say will be supple and flexible, which means your connective tissue, the inflammation is reduced. And Laura's going to recommend, of course, some great nutritional aspects you can do. And also the eyes, which are really important because as we age, our vision changes, and some people benefit, like if they have some vision issue like cataracts or something like that. Andy Rosenfarb, just a shout out to him, our expert on eyes in this United States and Chinese medicine. It can benefit the eyes as well. So the green foods and stuff that Laura's going to recommend. So that's the sensory orifice that it connects to.
Yeah, so each element has to do with a certain sense as well, and vision is for the wood and for the spring. And the flavor is actually sour. So things that are sour, and we'll talk about that later, can help out with qi flow and help out with liver health and help out with detoxification, which is a wonderful thing to do in the springtime. The tissue, we talked about the muscles and tendons.
And the emotion as well, right? We did.
Yep. That's an important one. The emotion is?
Anger, anxiety, and depression. Specifically, they associate anger
with it,
with not aggression, but anger, although aggression is also an offspring of aggression. Aggression can be associated with that. But it's anger, anxiety, and depression. But specifically, they always say anger. Like yesterday, we talked about worry with the spleen. Today, we're talking about anger with the liver.
Yep. So if we can keep that liver energy or the liver chi flowing, then we will feel less irritable. So I love this season because it is, I was saying, it's a season of rebirth and renewal. Right. So it's like this opportunity, which actually every season is and every day is, to do something for your body that's really good for it. But it's that we oftentimes will wait till this season to do a detox because it just feels natural at this time. Even if you look at nature, greens are starting to grow now. This is a great season for green leafy vegetables like lettuce to be growing because it's still a little bit cool out, but it's getting warmer, and you see those fresh greens coming out. So that's something wonderful you can do. We're going to go into some lifestyle recommendations for the spring to keep us healthy because there can be, some immune system challenges in the spring as well.
Oh, for sure.
As with any seasonal change. But things like spring allergies can really affect our immune system, and we want to keep ourselves strong right now because, heaven forbid you should actually sneeze in public at this moment. Do not sneeze or cough.
Right.
No, people will not like that. Do not.
Very true.
So just keeping ourselves healthy and having some lifestyle tips can be really
because if you have grass or pollen allergies, that's what's exploding in the spring.
Right.
Grass just start growing, all the buds start coming out on the trees, and that's a tough time for people with pollen allergies. So setting this platform for keeping your liver strong will really help with that as well.
Yeah, and Rick mentioned something already. One of the top lifestyle tips is to get moving and stretching because we want to keep the soft tissue in our body, like the muscles and tendons that are associated with the wood element, supple. And we've been having a little bit maybe more sedentary lifestyle in the winter time, which is we're coming out into this warmer weather. So making sure that you stretch and take care of your body. Stretching also helps out with the smooth flow of liver chi or liver energy. So it really can be very good for ourselves any time of year, but especially right now.
Right.
Eating your greens, we were talking about that. The color for the season is green. Green vegetables are starting to come out, especially the new green vegetables like sprouts and microgreens and young salad greens. Those are really delicious this time of year and can very much help out with your liver health as well as your overall health. Eating our greens is so important. And if you're caring for a more sensitive digestive system, then just slightly cook them. So lightly stir fry them or steam them, and that can be really helpful.
And the cool thing that happened, Laura likes to forage with a friend of ours too named Jean. And things that come out are little garlic ramps, little fiddleheads, all that stuff. That's all that green stuff. She's so excited this time of year because she can go out in the woods and find some cool things safely. She knows how to identify them. So she's just not picking anything off the forest floor and eating it. So. But any of those, like escarole, any of those greens, like beans and greens you see we're not going to give recipes right now, but that's something that's really good for the liver. Just anything like that is really beneficial in any green, right?
Yeah, especially the bitter green leafies like arugula and dandelion. Which dandelion, when I first started telling people to eat that, they were like, "What? What are you talking about? That's kind of gross. It's a weed." Right. And now, pretty much, Wegmans has it all the time.
Oh yeah.
So just sauteing up some dandelion greens with some garlic and maybe a squeeze of lemon. So good for the liver. And Rick's going to talk about a daily habit that he loves to recommend to people that really helps out with the liver.
What I do, and you get up and do your morning thing. When I say that, you pee, don't drink anything else. Don't drink water, don't drink anything. And I go and I heat up tea water, and I take a full, fresh lemon is important. The word fresh is important here.
Do you have to pee first?
Well, I always throw that in there. Like people say, well, can I even go to the bathroom first? I'm saying this because I I've had those questions over the year. Okay, so that's up to you. I'm sure you're disciplined enough to know.
You have to get out of bed before you pee, though.
You have to squeeze a lemon from your bed. No. You, when appropriate, get up. I mean, don't have your coffee, tea, cereal, all that first. Have this first. Thank you.
We do get those questions, though.
All the time.
Any question is a good question.
So we squeeze a fresh lemon into a teacup, and then take not hot water, but warm water. Pour that over the lemon, about 8 ounces and then just chug that down, and that flushes your liver out. Mm-hmm. When you do that, that is a great start for just starting that kind of daily detox. And I've had a guy I coached lacrosse with. He told me, he said, I do that religiously every morning. He goes, and I did no other changes, and I lost like 8 pounds. He goes, I felt like, hi Doug. Yeah, I felt like I just flushed the junk out of my body. And it just tastes good. I mean, it's sour, but that's back to what Laura was saying earlier. This is the sour flavor of spring. I tend to do it all year long, but I really hit it hard. I just did it this morning. I really tend to hit it hard in the spring.
So Chinese medicine, the flavor is sour for the liver, so that gets the liver qi flowing. But in the Western world, medical world, when you drink lemon juice and water, it actually stimulates bile production. And bile is very helpful with healthy digestion. So if you're having some digestion issues, sometimes that can help out. Also,
and cholesterol balancing is through the liver and the bile as well. So
bile also helps eliminate toxins from the liver. So if you're looking for that detoxification process, then it can be very helpful to do this lemon water in the morning. All right, and then
apple cider vinegar. That's more your thing.
Yeah, there's also some people like to get their sour in the morning through apple cider vinegar and doing a shot of that in some water. Some people do it straight up. Some people are concerned that it might affect their teeth enamel as well as the lemon juice. So you can absolutely add that shot of apple cider vinegar into water or the lemon juice into water and drink it.
Right. It dilutes it a little bit. Keeps it a little bit easier to consume, I think.
And just noticing, some people that have certain imbalances going on might not want to be doing that. So, but if you have questions about that, you can certainly message us.
Sure.
All right, and then going outside. We got to get
really important
again.
In the spring.
We have a more sedentary lifestyle in the winter. We eat heavier foods, and that is not necessarily a bad thing. The winter is that time, what we call a yin time of the year.
Reflection, inner reflection.
Yeah, and more of resting and that type of lifestyle. And the springtime, things are starting to bud and open up, and so are we. So getting outside and getting moving is really, really wonderful for your health as well, and again gets that liver qi or liver energy flowing.
And the Chinese say regarding that, they say it's a time of germination, sowing seeds, and that can mean the sowing seeds of movement, and sowing seeds has a broad definition,
right? And that for me too means that it's a great time to start something new because you're
new beginnings,
giving birth to that idea as well. So thinking about that, and then also getting moving and getting outside, all these things will help out with mood because we might be a little bit sunlight deprived from the winter. If you live in this part of the woods and you're not, getting sunshine, it can really affect your mood. So getting outside, getting some fresh air, getting a little sun is really important.
Right.
So, thinking about that, so one more thing. I think we're going way over, so.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I had written down milk thistle tea can be very helpful. So they have that in bags and Wegmans, so that's great too. We could probably spend, 10 episodes at least on the liver. So we'll probably come back to this when we start to look at emotions and look at acupressure points as well. All right. I hope you get outside today. My intention is to hopefully hit the public market.
Oh, right. It's Saturday.
Yeah, love that
safely.
Place.
Everybody's really good over there. They stay 6 feet apart. You don't see people clumping in. As far as we know, it's still open.
Angela asked us, does diluting the lemon juice and the ACV decrease its benefit? No, it really doesn't. No. You're still getting it in there. So that's a really good question.
Right.
So dilute away.
Hey, Carolyn. Hey, Jay.
Yeah. So, hello. So public market, support local. Have a great day. Bye.
See ya.